has read my legal writing knows. So I have some May 19th trivia also, but I'm not going to go through all of it because our wonderful hosts went through a couple things. There's a May 19th today, which is that my partner, Christy Pardue, graduated from social work. She decided to skip her own graduation festivities to come here, even though she's known since the first day that I was in law school that lawyer parties are the most boring because we sit around and talk about things like the hairy hand case, which is just not interesting. I also have, May 19th is also a significant day in our family. It's the day that my mom, Jeannie Raisler, passed away in 2006. And, but I feel like she's here with me in a variety of ways, partly because of my sister and my dad, but also because she instilled in me a lot of things. But two of those that I want to highlight are a principled sense of outrage and an idea that you need to be strategic. Now, she and I did not always agree on strategy, as often happens in the left. But those ideas of principled outrage and strategy, I think, continue to ride through in the work that I do here at the Guild and in the rest of my legal job. My mom also, I hadn't really thought about this, but Christy reminded me, which I appreciate. She had her own sort of creative legal approaches, although she was not a lawyer. I didn't know the story while she was alive, but she was arrested. She lived in like a collective house that got raided by the FBI, and they were looking for fugitives, but they only found drugs and guns, and so they took that stuff. But they were white activists, and the FBI didn't have a warrant. They didn't arrest anybody, and there were a lot of sort of protests that happened as a result of that. But sort of in that collective house, one of the ways that people earned money to support their revolutionary work was to shoplift and then resell the stuff that they stole, which is still a tactic today, a contemporary fundraising tactic. But I guess at one point she got arrested doing that with her roommate. And their legal strategy was to go to court, dress real nice, did not have a lawyer, and they told the judge that they had applied to a convent. And they really, really were hoping to get to go, and they really didn't want anything to mess up. And the judge said, why don't you give a $50 donation to my favorite charity? You can give it to the bailiff in the back of the courtroom. Which they did. And it all worked out. We also have a family connection to the May 19th Communist Organization. So I was happy to hear that in our trivia for tonight. And when I was biking up here, I was thinking a bunch about sort of like what are the values that I appreciate in this place, in this work. Some of them got mentioned already, so I think the value of a real love for the people, a value of a love for freedom, a value of really believing in collective liberation and understanding that none of us have real freedom until all of us have real freedom. A value that we believe in a world where carceral systems and punishment have no place. Even though as a parent, sometimes I want a little bit of punishment, but like really, I don't really want that. Right, we don't really want that. A value of being of use to movements and being of use to people and being of use to our community and being of use to our clients, for those of us here who are lawyers. I really love, in our house, we really love the Marge Piercy poem, To Be of Use. Yeah. And one of the lines in there is, a pitcher cries for water to carry and people for work that is real. And this work is real, right? It's about real people who we stand next to in some of the hardest and most challenging moments of their lives. It's about real systems that are trying to take people's homes away, that are trying to take people's jobs away, that are trying to take people's families away, that are trying to take people's freedom away. It's about the real work of being in community and being in partnership and using the strength that comes from there to struggle and win. It's about the real work of answering phone calls from unknown numbers that actually come through an encrypted messaging app at like midnight. And you're like, well, this isn't either going to be good or bad, but I probably got to get the phone. Right? And it's about the real work of all of you who answer those phone calls from me at midnight, so thank you. I couldn't do it without you. One sort of little microcosm of the work that we do here that I think really resonates with me was the organizing and legal work and community response to when the second time the city of Boston decided they were going to try to clear out all of the people who were living in the area that is often referred to as massive gas. And there were so many things that came together in that moment to me that are emblematic of how we merge legal work and community work and our love for the people and our belief in self-determination. So the Massachusetts Bail Fund was unbelievable. As they always are. And was present in coordinating support, collaborating with lawyers, figuring out how to make sure that if the state tried to cage people, that financial resources would not be a reason that they couldn't go home, that they couldn't be freed. We had this like vibrant collection of legal observers who were going into like a fairly tense and hostile situation in a different way than sometimes happens in our normal street protests. But law students, legal workers, volunteers, lawyers as legal observers who all went out early in the morning, were there until late in the day, monitoring what the police were doing. Sometimes it wasn't even the police, right? Sometimes it was like the city sanitation workers that were throwing out people's belongings, that were crushing people's wheelchairs, that were destroying people's homes. We had our Mass Defense Committee of the National Lawyers Guild, which is legal workers and lawyers, right, who are there to represent people, who are there to help people clear warrants, who were there to do know your rights trainings for people in the street, handing out flyers with information for people so they could know who to call if things went wrong. And then we also worked in close partnership with CPCS, with the State Public Defender Agency, to make sure that we had lawyers who were ready to go, who were prepared to fight in court about whether or not people could be free, about whether or not the state was going to civilly commit people. We had this sort of wide range of lawyers from the State Public Defender Agency and also people who were in private practice who volunteered to step up and to show up and to ultimately like shut down this project that the city tried to do. They tried to create this like secret court inside a jail. They ran it for about 2.5 weeks, and we made it untenable. We made it so they couldn't do it anymore, and it got shut down. And there's a special someone here who, I was inside that crappy, shitty jail court one day, and I came out, and there was a certain someone here who said to me later, "Hey, is that your bike?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's my bike." And they were like, "Oh, cool. I thought it might have been yours." And there was a little pause, and then they said, "Somebody came by with bolt cutters, but I was out here and I thought that was your bike." And I was like, "Hey, can you not steal this bike?" And I was like, "Thank you so much, because now I can bike home," right? And this is the work that we do. We pay attention to what's going on around us. We support each other. We hold each other. We make it possible for us all to work together. And when they come for the people, who are in struggle, when they come for our clients, we shut them down. Thank you for taking all of my late night phone calls, and thank you for those of you who are going to take my late night phone calls soon.